Wow. I can't believe I literally quit my job and I'm going to be a flight attendant. For those of you who don't know, my name is Me and I'm back with another video, like I say every video. But this video is a little bit different. So recently I decided to take my mental health a little bit more seriously and my happiness, and I quit my job. I'm not suggesting that that's the best thing or advice for everyone right now, but I was in a type of mental space where I was constantly feeling run down, fatigued, tired, just drained, and I was over it. I posted a video not too long ago, and for those who've been following me for a while or who knows, I am an entrepreneur. I did launch a business on September 19th, which was my birthday, and it's doing pretty well. But I know outside of entrepreneurship, I've always wanted to travel the world, and I've always wanted to be a flight attendant. I took the initiative to let go of my fears, trust in God, manifest, speaking to the universe, and I applied. So this video, I just want to talk about the process that I went through to become a flight attendant. I won't give too much details because I don't want to get in trouble, but I will give you guys some time frame, and I'm just going to like put a disclaimer out there. My time frame is really long because we got hit with a pandemic and my CJO was placed on hold for over a year. So it was about September of 20, I want to say 19. Yes, September 2019. Around my birthday time, I was feeling like I'm so over my current situation. I'm so over the people at my job. I'm so over the stress at my job. I'm so over the lack of appreciation at my job, and I wanted something new. I've always wanted to be a flight attendant. I've always wanted to travel the world. I'm a nerd in some aspects, so I've always wanted to be, or I've always wanted to study linguistics and different just cultures, and I felt like the flight attendant job or role is a perfect opportunity for that. I've always been afraid personally to actually go out to be a flight attendant because of, I guess I was afraid for a very long time on what other people would think, about what my family would think, because I went to school for one thing, and for me to like walk away from that thing, I felt like they were going to be like, you're walking away from this type of job to be a flight attendant. But after like years of growing and maturing and being and stressed out, I just realized I had to start doing things for me and really not care what others were going to say, even if it was those who I loved. So, okay, let's get back to the timeline. September 2019, I decided to take the next step and actually apply for a possible interview or apply to become a flight attendant. So around September 19th, I remember getting a email like maybe 2 days after I applied, and it was for a really no mainline that I was hoping to get, and they sent me a questionnaire, I think it was first. And then from the questionnaire, as those of you who know the flight attendant role or how the flight attendant process goes, is very long. Like, to become a flight attendant, I'm so sorry. I just don't understand why people keep calling me. To become a flight attendant, it's very tedious and it takes a long time. The process is not like you have 1 or 2 interviews and then you get offered a CJO, or in a regular 9 to 5 you get offered the job. The time limit is so long that you really gotta want to be a flight attendant to even stay confident or stay motivated. That I received a questionnaire. The questionnaire was just asking me situational questions about how I would react to certain things. What would my first, I guess, initial reaction be to certain situations, towards coworkers, towards customers, just all that type of stuff. It was about 30 minutes. I submitted that. And then about like a week after that, I got an email to do I think it was a kind of like a recorded interview. So they asked me a couple of questions and I would just have to record myself and submit my answers. So after that, it took a good like 2 months for me to hear anything back. And about 2 months after I submitted my recorded questions, I heard back from recruitment and they asked me to do a face-to-face with a live flight attendant from the airline. And yeah, and I just had to make sure that I was professionally dressed, I had great lighting, and I had Wi-Fi. The time process, we're already like 4 months into when I originally submitted my first application, just of, you know, being interested in becoming a flight attendant. So after I did my live interview process with the flight attendant, it took another like month and a half to actually get an invite date to the headquarters to do a live face-to-face interview. I'm telling you guys, I was so nervous for my interview, especially because I was not familiar with aviation. I did a little bit of research, but it wasn't something like, you know, I had experienced the process or I had friends who experienced the process. So I didn't know what to expect. But when I went to my face-to-face interview, I was not prepared at all for what I was walking into. And like I said, this was for a very, very like prestigious like top airline. So I went to my face-to-face interview. Like I said in the beginning, I started my application in September. I got my face-to-face interview for January 18th. I would never forget the date. And I went, and guess what? I didn't get it. I got sent home and it was okay. I wasn't sad or like crying or anything like that because it was new to me. This was something that I was just trying for the first time. I was already stepping out of my element from what I was doing previously. So I was like, okay, I didn't get it the first round, I'm coming back again. But what I didn't know is that people apply for this airline year after year after year after year. And it takes a lot to even get to a face-to-face interview. I was just fortunate enough and spoke to the right, you know, individuals who were interviewing me that I got to that process. But a lot of people don't even make it to that process. So it was plenty of people at my interview who were crying and who were really upset and had told me like they've been applying to this airline for 3 or 4 years and they get rejected every year. I totally empathize for them or those who were like devastated when we got the boot. After going through that process, honestly, I realized how like amazing aviation is. I learned so much from that one face-to-face interview. Even though I did not get a CJO, it caused me to want to learn more and do more research. And when I came home, I was like motivated. I was like, I'm going to do more research. I'm going to look at other airlines. Like, even though this is a great airline, there's plenty of airlines here in the US. I applied to another airline and I heard back from them. The process wasn't as tedious as the first process. I applied and then I went to the interview, and I'm shortening it up because I don't want this video to be extensively long. But I went to the interview and it was almost like 200 people at my interview process. They slimmed it down to about, I want to say 100 maybe. And then they only called back like 30 of us. I didn't get my CJO for the first airline around January 2019. No, I'm lying. It wasn't 2019. It was 2020. I could just take out 2019, which I said earlier, and just put January 2020. So I didn't get my CJO in January of 2020. But then I went on my second interview for another airline, and that took place in February, the next month. Yeah, the next month. Like, that's how much I was on it. That's how much I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to be a flight attendant at this point because this is what I want. I went home. I was really confident after my interview. I felt like I did really well. From my previous experience, I took all the little keynotes that I had mentally like jotted in my head that I did wrong. I was like, my second airline interview, I'm gonna be honest, I knocked it out the park. Like, I was so confident. My outfit was bad. Like, I looked so cute, and the questions that they asked me, I was just genuine. I honestly feel like for my first interview with the first airline, I felt like I had to be a certain way, or I had to answer questions a certain way, because like I said, I didn't know anything about aviation. So I was kind of like faking the funk in a sense. But when I went to my second interview, I just was genuine. I was myself. I answered to the best of my abilities, and I was just authentic. That's all I could be. I wasn't nervous. It wasn't the end of the world. I told myself if I didn't get a CJO, I just would keep trying. You know, I was still, like I said, a newbie. It was my first year even trying to become a flight attendant. So I went home feeling confident. I didn't hear back from them for a while. It was a couple months before I heard back from the second airline, and I would never forget the day. It was March 6th. And I got the cute little email, and it said, "Congratulations, we would like to invite you to training." I was so happy when I got that email. It wasn't just a sense of relief that, oh my gosh, you're going to be a flight attendant, you're going into a new career. It was, I can get out of this job that is draining me, bro. I think I cried a little bit because I'm a baby, but yeah, I'm a little waterhead. So unfortunately, my dreams were cut short literally like a week after. Not even, it was about like 4 days after. After getting the email that I got my CJO, the pandemic just blew up in the US, and airlines, as we all know, just started decreasing in flying. A lot of flight attendants got furloughed. A lot of people lost their job just overall in the aviation industry. And of course, my training got delayed. Like, I'm so happy that they didn't resend our CJOs, because a lot of airlines did resend the CJOs that they had given out to individuals who had made it past the face-to-face interview. For months, I did not hear back from my airline. I was in like a little limbo situation. I didn't know if I was going to be called to training. I didn't know if my CJO was going to be rescinded. I didn't know if, like, you know, it was just over. So I just really stayed faithful. I prayed. I continued on with my life. That's one thing that I told myself I couldn't do. I'm like, even though this door was open and it looks like it was closed right before I can even enjoy the moment, I was like, I'm still believing that the door is going to reopen and I will be a flight attendant. It's just not going to be right now or within the next couple of months. But moving to the exciting part of the story, I remember for Christmas, my boyfriend coming into town and us spending the holidays together. And at this point, I was very content with my life and what was going on. I was happy. My business was thriving. So I didn't forget about my CJO or becoming a flight attendant. I just kind of tucked it away to, I had the type of attitude that it was like, it is what it is. If it's meant to be, it will be. And if it's not, it will not. I have this tendency of checking my emails before I go to sleep. Real adulting. You know you're an adult when you check your emails all the time. But yeah, I was checking my emails, and then I seen that cute little email that said, "Hello there, we just want to reach out and see if you're still interested in coming to training with us. If so, this will be your training date. Respond within this amount of time and let us know." Yeah, it started in February, so I am a new flight attendant. I did pass training. And I'm just gonna be real with y'all. Training ain't easy. So if you're gonna go to training, just be ready and be prepared. It's definitely not made for the weak. Just, I don't know, I felt like I got through it a lot I'm spiritual, so I pray. And I just had a great group of friends that we stuck by each other no matter what. We made sure that we were ready on time. We made sure that we were prepared for the exams. We made sure that we just had each other's backs at all times. So just find that good group of people to whom you can count on. Training is a great opportunity. I learned so much. It's an experience that I would never forget, and I do feel that I was prepared. Yeah, that's my story. I'm so excited for transition. My YouTube channel is going to be now a mix of a little bit of everything. But I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. If you want more tips on like training and just what are some things you should bring to training and anything of that nature, I will make a video. Just post it in the comments below. And yeah, I'm gonna start vlogging and posting content on my trips, so stay tuned. Thank you, babies.